It's called Imaginary Poems from My Imaginary Girlfriend Named Anabel. Originally, it was published through Douglas Manson at Little Scratchpad Press, and then as time went on, I got it published. I published it myself through Semperverdi Press, which is Italian for evergreens, and I worked with Doug for a while to edit and fine-tune and pick out some things, and basically, you know, the book sold out within 3 or 3.5 weeks of when it was first, you know, when we first had the book launch. And there were only 100 copies, and there were only a few hundred copies in the second round. It's something small. It's technically a chapbook. You can get it through my website at www.lizmariani.com. I sent it to Finland. People have bought it in Finland and Canada, Los Angeles and New York, all over the place, and it's really blown my mind personally, because I'm kind of lazy when it comes to promotion sometimes. I just have so much going on. I'm like, oh, you know, I did this and I need to rest, and it's kind of been propelling itself, you know. And yeah, I'm very proud of it. I wrote it, Imaginary Poems for My Imaginary Girlfriend Named Anabel. You know, I don't even know who this Anabel is. I don't really have a vision of a particular woman that I had in mind, but it was kind of like, you know, the kind of truth that you think or you feel after you make love with someone and you're just kind of laying in the bed, or you dream and you wake up the next day and there's just that comfort of honesty. I just felt like these are the things and the stories that I was going to tell this woman, that I felt like there was this presence around me. Now, whether it was an actual spirit or what was going on, I'm not sure. I never had a vision of someone in particular. I just knew it was, for me, it wasn't a lot of like bed talk, like, oh, you're the best baby kind of bed talk, but more like bed talk like, this is where I've come from and this is what I see, you know. And it was a pause, and something about winter forces you to pause, and this is what happened in one of my pausing. I have to say, anybody young that wants to get into poetry, I guess the first thing I'd say is get a pen and a piece of paper, turn off that computer, get to your most organic set, you know, don't necessarily worry about typing it. Just get a pen and a piece of paper, a pencil and a piece of paper, and write anything. Try to find the rhythms in whatever you want to say. If it's your goal that day to go out and buy some coffee, and you write the sentence, I'm gonna go buy some coffee, write it in a way that you feel like it has gumption and furor and fever and feeling, like, I'm gonna go out and buy some coffee. You know, like, find the rhythm in the words. I mean, I'm a product of the early 90s hip-hop that came through, like Diggable Planets and Tribe Called Quest, and, you know, the rhythm and the positivity and the reality, and even if it was an ugly truth or a hard truth, it was still a truth. It wasn't very misogynist or homophobic or anything like that. It was just like, you know. And I guess it's just, I'm just saying, let your truth come through. Don't worry about rules, forms, creative writing books, what people tell you what to do. Make your own rules, get your words out, find a venue. There's lots of open mics. One of my favorite is the Empty Cup on Tuesdays. It's like 6:30 or 7. James Cooper runs that. It's a great part of my development, of one of my waves of coming out into the poetry world again, because I would perform and then, you know, move to the country for a while, or, you know, drop off the scene and then re-emerge. And I guess my advice to any young person that wants to write is, don't worry about whether your stuff is good. Just get it out, because eventually anything authentic will be respected. And who cares what anybody thinks? I frankly don't. The reason I voted for him is because I recognize in him what I see as something that is essential. And he's got this bridge-making capacity. He's a peacemaker at his core. He wants to connect people, and he wants to take the best. He doesn't want to highlight everybody's differences. And I think maybe even myself, coming from two very different European backgrounds, you know, Italian-American and the German, English, and Scottish half of my mother's side, it's not so much that I see that I have an Obama spirit, but I see he has what the earth needs right now, and not only in the United States, but what the earth needs. And I feel like, to me, he's been a poet to me as well. And I have to tell you, I have insomnia from time to time when I have a little anxiety, and the night before the election I was up all night till like 7 a.m. So technically it was like November 4th, 6 or 7 in the morning, and I'm watching Canadian television, and they have Maya Angelou on the television. Right before they interview Maya Angelou, they say on this date, January 19th, George Bush is going to be evicted from the White House. And I heard the words George W. Bush and evicted in the same sentence, and I started to like break out of my insomniac days. I was like, oh, you know. And then Maya Angelou spoke, and it wasn't so much what her words were, it was the fact that they were so healing. I just recognized that's what was going on entirely. Like, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen with the election. I had a feeling it was going to be a landslide. Nobody believed me. But I just decided that, and I decided already at that point that no matter what had happened with the election, whether another one was stolen, you know, because sometimes third time's a charm, right? Whether another one was stolen or not, I really felt like the momentum that was created and the community that had been created through the election, that momentum couldn't be stopped. And I feel the same way about Spoken Word Sundays. The connections that were made, and the poetry and the poets that were encouraged, given venues, and the things that happened through that event, it doesn't just stop. You know, it can't be destroyed. It's living still in Buffalo, and Buffalo's art scene is very healthy, very organic, and very original. And I think that everybody would have to leave Buffalo to realize that, unfortunately, and then go, oh my God, this is what's really happening here. This is a fantastic place. So I guess that's my Obama spirit, that I feel like it's about healing, and it's about recognizing that there is momentum, and no one else can name it. You don't have to be validated by all this massive media and all this stuff, you know, because everyone tried to disqualify him. You know, there's always a big deal with someone that comes in with new ideas. Well, they don't have the credentials. Well, you know what? We're all on planet Earth, and if you're paying attention, you're qualified, as far as I'm concerned. Maya Lin created the Vietnam Memorial, and I don't think she was a certified architect at the time. I think she was an architectural student. And the Vietnam Memorial, it goes like this, and she won this award, and it was a big hubbub because she wasn't like, you know, somebody that had a degree in design or architecture at the time, and she just threw the establishment over, you know. And I think, you know, we need some things to shake up, and we need people with ideas that are going to shake up things, because this complacency is really horrible right now. So I feel like that's part of what I recognize as an Obama spirit, and thanks for saying that. But I think it's really, it's not just me. I'm a product of my environment too. Totally.